So today we're talking about how Avatar still holds up after all of these years, and I just rewatched it. And I just want to say it's better than most cartoons that come out today. And even though I think Legend of Korra was actually enjoyable, it just doesn't hold up to the legacy of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Starting with Book 1 Water, I will say Katara and Sokka were definitely some of my favorite characters. We meet Appa, Aang's flying bison, and even later on we get Momo. This season was cool to me because we start understanding every element, how you should be connected to your bending, and even Zuko and Iroh, which turns out they both would be some of my favorite characters as well. Everyone thought the Avatar wasn't real anymore. He was missing for 100 years. Bro was chasing a straight up ghost, and then when he met him, he thought he could actually fight him. If it was a 100-year ghost, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, we do get some cool concepts. We meet the Kyoshi warriors and even Avatar Kyoshi, and even meet Avatar Roku. And the good thing about the Avatar 2 is if need to be, they can be planetary. If y'all remember, Kyoshi literally made an island and blew it off to the middle of a river or ocean or wherever she was. Another cool thing is we meet Jet. Jet was a pretty cool character, but I kind of knew he was evil right off the bat, even when I did watch it young. It's always the cool ones. Like Sasuke honestly ruined it for me. I just saw it coming. But I think my favorite part of this season, which is a cliche, but it is definitely the end of the season, where Aang is kind of controlling this giant water spirit, which for the guy who doesn't kill, he definitely killed Yall. But Aang was definitely a fuck around and find out type of situation. I mean, this thing was huge and it took out the whole Fire Nation army. Even though I did move on from that pretty quickly, I am going to move on to Book 2, Earth. Earth and Fire are kind of hand in hand for me. They're definitely both of my favorite seasons. It's because top 3 of my favorite characters, Toph was legit amazing. Toph is this blind girl that didn't let that stop her. Most likely the greatest earthbender of her time. She had a really OP ability that was called Seismic Sense, meaning she could tell your moves before you even make them. If anything, she technically sees better than you in different aspects. And her sarcasm was hilarious. And this season we got pretty good storylines. Like when Appa went missing, Aang went crazy. And the inside war that Ba Sing Se was having with the Dai Li, wild. And in this season, it really made me jump my love for Azula, because not only was she a crazy 14-year-old, she was also inspiring, if y'all remember that speech in Ba Sing Se. And her, Ty Lee, and May dressing as the Kyoshi warriors, oh my god, Avatar, you just know how to make a great story. And my main takeaways from this was Toph also learning how to metal bend. That was the first time I think we got somebody in the series creating their own ability. Because I don't think Azula created lightning, but it was cool seeing her interest with blue fire. Not to mention, Zuko is becoming a better person. And that character development is going crazy. At the end of this, we probably get one of the best scenes we ever could have got. One of them is Zuko getting close with Katara, but ends up turning on her overall just for his honor. And them teaming on Aang, and even Azula getting a clean lightning strike on Aang. No lie, I did think he was done at first when I was a kid, but now that I'm older, I kind of knew it was going to happen. And low-key, Aang with hair is pretty cursed. Now to the final season. The gang is now dressed up as Fire Nation as they're trying to sneak in and see what they can learn. And low-key, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. They're meeting kids, dressing up as patent ladies. Hell, it was just all around a good time. But not for long. They're trying to get an army together before the eclipse, which is obviously going to take the Fire Nation's powers away, which they do end up being successful, by the way. And although they do end up failing because they had a plan, and Azula knew before this because Ba Sing Se's leader told her, which was stupid because why would you share the information with the Kyoshi warriors in the first place? Anyway, I digress from that. Azula is really good at distracting people. For a 14-year-old, she sure does act like a grown adult. So that lightning ability Iroh taught Zuko actually worked, and he directed the lightning back at his father and leaves to help the Avatar, showing his character development and showing him actually wanting to be a better person. Now, Combustion Man does finally find the gang, and they do stop him for good, and they even accept Zuko, and now Aang has learned every bending ability. Aang went missing to find a lion turtle. Nah, but since the thing here is actually taught him a really OP ability, and that is taking bending away, or in terms, taking the energy away. In the fight with Fire Lord Ozai, oh my god, I love this fight. And sometimes I go on YouTube and rewatch it just because. I mean, everything was perfect. Sozin Comet boosting him like that. This man was fighting like a god. He was flying around, had insane firepower, shooting lightning. But boy, when Aang went in that Avatar state, I knew it was up. He grabbed the man by his beard. Bro was legit a natural disaster. Chasing him down and machine gun earthbending style, that is way too dangerous to actually lose on Fire Lord Ozai. But I think one of the best scenes that described Aang was him always finding a different way and taking his bending ability away. Anyway, it all ends amazingly. We get the happy ending. Katara and Aang is finally together. Zuko's the Fire Lord, and now it's time to bring all the nations together. Now, a lot of you think that was the end, but there's actually a lot of comics. You got stuff like The Search, The Rift, and even one-offs with just Katara and Sokka, and Azula and Zuko. The thing is the animation still holds up with amazing shots, beautiful cinematography, amazing character development, beautiful characters, and all around worth your time. Low-key, when I think about it, it's probably top 10 cartoons of all time. Plus, the main thing is that Avatar: The Last Airbender is one of Nickelodeon's best-selling shows. And personally, I feel like there's lessons you can learn in this. Taught us the gift of friendship, family, humanity, war. All these beautiful lessons were conveyed perfectly. And I will always love this series for that. And if you haven't watched it and you are still watching at this point in the video, I genuinely suggest it to you. I know it'll be worth your time. Subscribe if you want more. I'll see y'all in the next one.